What is up, besties? Welcome back to Main Character Classics, the only place where we take these dusty old books and realize they were actually just early versions of a messy Twitter thread. Today, you guys, today is actually heartbreaking. So our boy Victor, the tech bro with the god complex, is just chilling when he gets a letter from his dad, Alphonse. Now, Alphonse is doing that thing where he is like, I did not want to tell you this, but I have to. Like, just tell him already. Stop the gatekeeping. Then the bomb drops. William is dead. Not just dead, but literally murdered. Like a whole child just gone. The audacity of this situation is actually insane. Wait, actually, can we talk about the lore here? Alphonse explains that the family went for a vibe check walk in Plainpalais. Everything was serene, very cottagecore, until William and Ernest went missing. Ernest comes back like, yeah, William was playing hide and seek and just never came out. I am deceased just thinking about the panic. They search all night with torches. And at 5 a.m, they find William. He is livid, motionless, and the murderer literally left finger marks on his neck. Imagine the Ike of that. I cannot. Honestly, the villain had zero chill. I cannot even believe this is happening to a kid. Who does that? This is a literal crime scene, and Victor is just reading about it in a letter. The trauma is real. Then we have Elizabeth. She sees the body and immediately goes into a full spiral. She screams, "Oh God, I have murdered my darling child." Now, she did not actually do it, but she is in her Delulu era because William had been begging her to let him wear this super expensive miniature portrait of Victor's mom, and now the portrait is gone. So Elizabeth thinks she caused this because of some jewelry. Bestie, please. This is a classic case of misplaced guilt. She faints, she weeps. It is a total soap opera, not Elizabeth taking the blame for a literal homicide over a necklace. The drama is just too much for me. I would have logged off immediately. Victor is reading this and he just collapses. He throws the letter, covers his face, and starts sobbing. His bestie Henry Clerval is there, trying to be a supportive king like, my dear Frankenstein, are you always going to be unhappy? Henry is really just the emotional support human at this point. He is out here giving the most basic consolation like, poor William, he is with the angels now. Okay, Henry, thanks for the Hallmark card, but my brother was literally strangled.
Shut up, bitch!
Victor is absolutely cooked. He tells Henry they have to go to Geneva right now. No Uber, just horses, because we are in the 1700s, obviously. The journey home is such a mood. Victor is having a full midlife crisis at 20. He sees the mountains and the lake, and he is like, oh, beautiful nature. Am I feeling peace, or is the universe just mocking my L? He is really trying to have a main character moment with the scenery, but he is low-key terrified. He stays in Lausanne for 2 days just staring at the water because he is too scared to face the vibes at home. Honestly, the avoidant attachment style is strong with this one. He is literally procrastinating his own family tragedy. Finally, he gets to Geneva, but the gates are shut, so he has to stay in a village called Secheron. He cannot sleep because he is too busy brooding, so he decides to visit the spot where William was killed. Just for the aesthetic, I guess. He gets there and suddenly the weather decides to match his internal chaos. A massive storm hits. Lightning is flashing. Thunder is booming. It is a total cinematic event. And then, in the middle of the rain, Victor sees a figure stealing from behind some trees. A flash of lightning hits and boom. It is the wretch, the filthy demon. The literal giant he built in a lab. Victor is shaking, leaning against a tree, and he realizes the monster did it. The creature he gave life to just murdered his little brother. The aura of this moment is just pure horror. The monster just scales a perpendicular mountain, like some kind of Sigma mountain goat, and disappears into the night. And highlight, I am actually shaking. The reveal, the betrayal, the fact that Victor created his own nightmare is just a massive L for him. Victor spends the rest of the night cold and wet, thinking about how the monster is like his own vampire, a spirit let loose from the grave to destroy everything he loves. But here is the real tea. Victor decides not to tell anyone. He is like, if I tell them I built a giant man who kills kids, they will think I am insane. Which, I mean, he is not wrong, but also the police are looking for a killer, Victor. He is really just going to let the secret sit there while his family suffers. The lack of accountability is sending me. He finally gets home at 5 in the morning, goes into the library and sees his dad. Then Ernest comes in and drops another bombshell. He says, the murderer has been discovered. Victor is like, what? Who could possibly catch that thing? And Ernest tells him, it is Justine Moritz, the sweet, innocent family friend. The evidence? Someone found the missing portrait in her pocket. Justine was acting all confused and nervous, which the law took as a confession. She's being tried today. Wait, the monster literally framed her. He took the necklace and put it in her pocket. This is some next-level gaslighting. I cannot believe Victor is just standing there knowing the truth, while Justine is about to get the death penalty. He is literally just watching the train wreck happen in real time. Then Elizabeth comes in, looking like a total queen, but she is devastated. She says she believes Justine is innocent, and Victor, in a moment of total delusion, tells her, do not fear, she will be acquitted.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro.
Like Bestie, you know the murderer is a 10-foot-tall zombie man. Do something. The tension is literally peaking. The injustice is giving me a migraine, and Bestie. We haven't even gotten to the part where... Oh my God, welcome back to Main Character Classics, the only place where we drag the 19th century for its absolute lack of boundaries. Today, no, because we are getting into the absolute travesty that is Chapter 8. Imagine being a tech bro with a god complex and watching your innocent bestie get canceled by the entire legal system while you just sit there. That is exactly the vibe Victor is giving right now. Ugh, so the trial starts at 11 o'clock. Victor and the whole fam have to go as witnesses. Now, Victor is literally vibrating with anxiety because he knows he is the reason this is happening. He's watching this mockery of justice, and he is basically like, I am deceased. He knows that his little science project, his little 8-foot-tall nightmare, is the one who actually did the crime. He is basically admitting that his own Delulu era has now resulted in the death of a baby and the framing of a girl. I cannot with him. Like, actually, the lack of rizz in his moral compass is staggering. He says he would have confessed 1,000 times, but he was not there when the murder happened, so if he told the truth, everyone would just think he was having a psychotic break. So he just stays silent. The audacity is truly astronomical. So enter Justine, and let me tell you, she is serving a look. She is in morning clothes, she looks exquisitely beautiful, and she is trying so hard to have that calm, Sigma energy because she knows that if she looks confused, the judges will just call it guilt. She looks at the family, sheds a single tear, and honestly, her aura is just pure innocence. Then the trial actually starts, and besties, the evidence is just a series of LS for Justine. First, a market woman, basically a professional snitch, claims she saw Justine near the body. Justine was acting all confused, which, okay, if you just found out a baby was dead, you would be confused. But the court is just like sus. And then, the ultimate receipt. Elizabeth stands up with a shaking voice and shows the court the picture that was found in Justine's pocket. The same picture that was around the baby's neck. The crowd literally loses it. They are all just screaming and hating. Wait, can we just talk about how Victor is just sitting there while the world burns? He is literally watching a girl get framed with a piece of jewelry, and he is just thinking about his feelings. I am actually shaking. He needs to be canceled immediately. Then it is Justine's turn to speak. She is struggling, she is crying, but she tries to explain herself. She says she spent the night at her aunt's house in Chern, and on her way back, some random guy told her the baby was missing. She spent the whole night searching for him and ended up sleeping in a barn. Like a barn. In the middle of the night. Totally normal behavior, right? Not according to the judges. She admits she has no idea how the picture got in her pocket. She is basically like, I have no enemies who would do this to me. And honestly, the answer is the monster Victor made in a basement. But she does not know that. Then Elizabeth enters her main character era. She stands up and tells the court that Justine is the most benevolent human creature to ever exist. She talks about how Justine cared for her aunt and her own mother, and how she loved the baby. Elizabeth is basically saying, I trust this girl with my life. But the crowd does not care. They are actually more mad that Elizabeth is defending her. They are just like, wow, the ingratitude is insane. The judges have already decided she is cooked. Victor sees this and he just runs out of the room. Imagine, your friend is fighting for her life and you just leave the room because you are too stressed. The cowardice is actually giving me a migraine. The next morning, Victor goes back to the court, and the officer tells him the ballots are all black. Justine is condemned. But then, we get the actual plot twist. The officer tells him that Justine confessed. Victor is shook. He is like, wait, what? Did I imagine everything? Elizabeth is absolutely devastated. She is like, how could someone with such mild eyes be a murderer? So they go to visit Justine in this gloomy prison cell. She is in chains, sitting on straw, just absolutely broken. She throws herself at Elizabeth's feet and starts sobbing. Elizabeth is like, why did you lie to me? Why did you confess? And this is where the real tea drops. Justine admits she confessed a lie. Why? Because her priest basically psychologically tortured her. He threatened her with excommunication and hellfire if she did not admit to the crime. He literally bullied her into saying she did it, just so she could get absolution before she died. She was all alone, terrified, and the only person she had was this toxic priest telling her she was a monster. She just broke. She signed the lie because she could not handle the pressure. I am actually screaming. This is the most cursed thing I have ever heard, and the most insane part. After all that, Justine is still trying to comfort Elizabeth. She is like, do not worry, I will be with dear William in heaven. Meanwhile, Victor is standing in the corner, gnashing his teeth and groaning like some kind of edgy teenager, feeling the never-dying worm of guilt in his bosom.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight.
The next day, Justine is executed. The judges would not listen to Elizabeth, and Victor tried to speak up, but then he realized that if he told the truth, he would just look like a complete madman, so he just let her die. He just stands there and watches the girl he framed get killed on a scaffold. He then looks at Elizabeth's grief and his father's sadness, and is like, yeah, this is all my fault. My thrice accursed hands did this. He is literally prophesying that more people are going to die because he cannot just go to the police and say, I made a giant man-beast.
Duérmeme!
He's just standing over the graves of William and Justine, feeling a deep, dark despair, and honestly, he deserves every bit of it. And bestie, we haven't even gotten to the part where